The computer says that I'm going live, so this should work. Hello everybody. Hello Marlena. I'm hoping that everybody can hear me. Whoever is live, I see quite a few people live, so welcome to my live stream again. This is a new setup that I have, and then the background is a little bit more like chill and so on. I don't have the big lights on anymore. But okay, hi Johan, you can hear me. I'm just assuming that everybody can hear me, otherwise people would have said like, hey, something is weird going on and all of that stuff, right? Yeah, we hear you. Okay, cool. So it's night. It's pretty stormy outside, so you're going to hear a lot of storm sounds and a lot of different things. We've been having like high-end storms in the past few days, and even I got caught in one because I had to come back from Copenhagen. But I'll tell you the story while we draw, okay, while we do stuff. Now, you guys know that I had one of my favorite watercolors. It was this in this tin, and it was from Jullie Maggi. You can find it on Instagram, by the way. I will put some links later on. And I had some really cool colors here from her that I used. Like, these are the Iceland colors. These are handmade watercolors, and I love them because they're like muted colors. Okay, so what I went ahead and did, because my birthday is approaching, so there you go, for my birthday, is I went ahead and I bought her artist palette watercolor. And because of that, I got also 2 dots that were for free, and I put them here. But this is her artist watercolor palette, and I bought, I mean, normally it comes with 12 colors, and but I bought an extra color here. It's called El Dorado because I really wanted a really nice pink. Okay, so I want to swatch them properly. I mean, I did swatch them a little bit on the tiny paper here, right? But I just want to make a proper swatch here. This is 100% cotton watercolor paper. It is the Ochr Labs A5 paper, so it's not really super thick, but it is 100% watercolor, right? Once we're done with the swatching and we're just playing around, I prepared a tiny little drawing there. I want to utilize these colors. Now, this is what we're gonna do. These are really awesome colors. You know me, I always like muted colors, so we're just gonna go ahead. I made some just random shapes here just to fill the page, and then we're just gonna fill those colors in here, and we're gonna just play around. I'm gonna use a number 5 brush. It's a rounded brush, and this is a normal one from Da Vinci. By the way, Da Vinci is like a Dutch brand. They sell all sorts of stuff. It's not super expensive. I have a bunch of them. What I like it is it really goes into a pointy point here. So this is kind of what I have, okay? The nice part about these palettes is that they have magnet on the bottom. So it comes with a magnet. Let me grab one so I show you. Okay, and the tin is magnetic. So, you know, they will not really move around too much. So that's the nice part about it. These are some of the blues that I like. I noticed that I really don't like very bright blues, so this is why I really like this palette. And then together with this one, they're gonna be my favorite ones. Okay, so just letting that one there. So we're gonna start with the first one. There's one thing that I have to say that I noticed while I was doing the swatching, is that these colors, they are muted, but they're also very not, I'm not gonna say transparent, but they are a little bit lesser transparent than normal watercolors. So like, let's say if I have black lines, they're gonna a little bit disappear. So we're gonna have to see how it goes, but the colors themselves is normal because these type of colors, they don't exist in the, let's put it this way, in the natural world. So I'm not gonna say that it's normal, because you have to add other colors to be able to do this. Why am I doing the swatching like this is I want to see how it reacts with water. The only way you can see how it reacts with water is if you swatch it over a bigger piece. Like when you do a small swatch like this, you don't really get to see how the watercolor actually plays. You don't see, like, this is like really dark color, and you can already kind of notice that it's quite opaque. And when you add water, it's also granulating color, right? So this is how you can play around, and you just need a bigger surface. This color per se is called Sea Puppy. It's a very pale pink, like really pale pink, almost to the gray, okay? So it's really nice. It's a really nice color. And the next one is called Italian Ochre. By the way, these colors are also super creamy. And no, it's not a sponsored one. I bought these colors myself just because I learned what colors I like, and I learned like what colors I mostly use for my watercolors. And I started stopping using colors that don't really match with my style. So I am only nowadays buying the colors that are more like my style, like more muted, more purples, and like suited for flowers and so on, not bright colors. I don't do bright colors. That's why maybe you don't see me that much playing around with my whole bind set and so on. It's a great set. It's great watercolors. But I don't do bright colors. I do really muted colors. So that is why. Okay. This is really nice, I would say. Okay. This was the Italian Ochre. And now we have Venice. And Venice, usually, I notice many brands, they have these colors. Venice, it's a kind of a brick red. Okay. It's a red, but it's more brownish. It's a really nice red, right? So I'm really loading my brush. And this is a great exercise as well, because the exercise that I'm doing here is I'm trying to follow a shape with my brush, and the shape is very irregular. So you can kind of see that you can do two exercises at the same time. One is swatching and one is really getting comfortable with painting around the shape and, you know, having control of your watercolor. What I'm doing here is wet into dry. So the only thing wet is my brush and my color, and the paper is dry. So you can kind of realize this. Now, the next color that I have here is called Mountain Spirit. And this is a really dark red, but more, again, to the brown, really muted. You could get the same thing by mixing a brown with red, and you could technically get the same thing. But this is so nice. Look at it. It's, wow. It's really, I would say, opaque as well, but it's really cool. Mountain Spirit. Definitely has spirit. Now we're gonna clean our brush and start on the downside of this, picking up the color, making it lighter, seeing it how it reacts with water. And this is what we're trying to figure out, right? Nice. And you can also see how it granulates. I mean, it really granulates, all of them. Majority of the handmade watercolors, they are really granulating. That's because they're using quite nice pigments, but they're also, okay, this next color is called El Dorado. They also don't have enough power manually to grind to a very fine the pigments, so then the pigments remain still pretty. Look at this gorgeous pink. Like, you know, majority of the pinks are very bright, like Ochre pink and any other type of pink that we usually have, super bright. But this El Dorado, man, this is so beautiful. I don't have to tone it down like the normal shell pink and so on. I will have to tone it down or use Potter's pink. This is like the brother of Potter's pink, I would say. It's an in-between color. And now we go to this yellow, which is called Palo Santo. It's very funny. It's a pun. Well, probably Palo Alto. The colors are very creamy, man. And they reactivate very good with water. This is a really pale yellow, but it's not bright. I wouldn't say it's bright. I would say it's very pale. And you might wonder, you know, do I buy from a lot of people, lots of handmade watercolors? Like I said, I am usually only buying the colors that I think match my style, right? And there are many good watercolor artists out there that make their own watercolors, and they have really nice colors. They're just not on my style, so I'm not gonna buy them. Right, really bright colors and so on. I'm not saying anything about the quality. I'm just saying the style of it is different. Okay, the next one is a tundra. So it's kind of a olive green, but really toned down. So we're going to do this. You can hear the wind, man. When I arrived, so I was in Copenhagen for about a week or so, and I was supposed to come back Friday evening, but then my plane got cancelled because, surprisingly enough, there was a storm coming. The storm Eunice, as people call it, and the wind force was like up to 10. So code red all over the country, everything not so great. And then I had to reschedule my flight to a morning flight because the wind was... So morning flights were still running. Luckily, there was a space free in a morning flight. So I got there. And it was still rough. Like, imagine that the wind force was still 5 when I arrived to the Netherlands. So the landing was so rough. That is when I kind of learned why people in the movies, you know, throw up in the plane. It's really the movement and so on. Well, looking like you were at sea. And that was just wind force 5. And that was a very rough landing, I would say. And descent, not even only landing, but it was really rough descent, I would say. So then in the evening, it was a big storm, like a really big storm. This is a brown. This is called Castle Earth. The other one was Greenish Umber. So it was an umber color, but with green. It's really nice muted green, to be honest. Okay, this is called Castle Earth. And this is kind of a burnt umber / sepia. Looks more like a sepia than a burnt umber. Burnt umber has hints of red in it. This is more of a Van Dyke brown / sepia. Okay, and I watch lots of videos with trees falling. And today I had to bike. It was still quite windy, and now it's getting super windy. Lots of trees were fall to the ground and so on. Like they were really uprooted. It was like an interesting way. Let's put it this way. Now we're going into the blues, and this is Nova Sky. You know me, I don't like blues, but these blues, man, they're really nice. So until, let's say, Wednesday, the weather is gonna be really interesting until Wednesday. So look at this blue. Oh my god, this is such a beautiful blue. I always try to get this blue by mixing colors, but it's very hard to get this blue by mixing colors. I'm so glad that I found somebody that made it handmade. I mean, I'm not very good at mixing colors, so that is why. Okay, and the next blue is gonna be called Winter Sky. Again, really wonderful. You know, when you look at them, they might look very similar, but when you put them on paper, they're gonna be very different. So this is what I'm gonna do. And now you may wonder, you know, what are the advantages and disadvantages of using handmade watercolors versus like normal watercolors from the most known brands and so on. And I would have to say that the advantage is that you get the colors that normally you wouldn't get. Like even if Daniel Smith, for example, has 300 colors, like this type of colors, they're very customized, okay, and very much to the taste. So I would say getting really customized colors and also this granulation, you don't normally get it. There is, however, one disadvantage. Like these colors, they might sold out, and it's not like you can always replenish them. Like with a Daniel Smith, if you run out of a color, you just go buy a new color, and usually you find the same color over and over again, like anytime you go. But with handmade watercolors, right, the artist might just decide, well, that's it, I don't make them anymore, right? And also they might not get the same color over and over again because they do a batch, right? And by the way, this is called warm gray. So this is a really nice gray. It's a really nice gray. It fits in with all the other ones. So that is the advantage. Like once these are done, I don't have a guarantee that I will be able to have them again, right? So although I really love them, I might not be able to use them anymore, right? So this is kind of the disadvantage. Now with big companies and so on, you don't have that problem. But yeah, you know what, I forgot to do these dots, but I'll do them at the end, the dots, it's okay. The last one that it was from the palette is called Lavender Cloud. It's a really nice muted color. Look at it. And by the way, my cat is coming. He's awake. Hi, Happy. Hi, baby. You've come to see how mommy is doing her live stream. He might get into the shot. Oh yeah, he's already in the shot. Hi, baby. Can you please stay there? Yeah, that's a good boy. That's a good boy. He's like getting himself comfortable. He wants to stay there. Probably he wants some huggies and pets from mommy. Okay, this lavender color is so beautiful. So beautiful. Look at it. They're very opaque, I'm not saying, but I don't care. Okay, we're gonna do these two ones. It's gonna be these colors here. And these were some dots that I received because I bought the artist palette. And you can buy these colors separately. I don't know. I'm thinking about this green moss. This is dry moss and this is light ochre. So now we're gonna have a light ochre. I'm not so sure about the light ochre. Looks more like a, let's put it more up. Looks more like a raw sienna to me. But I'm not sure if it's really my color. Not necessarily what I usually do, but the green, I think I would buy the bigger version because the green was really nice. So the green is called Dry Moss, and I only have a dot for now, but it's okay. It's also really muted green. It's a little bit, I mean, these are more brownish greenish, and this is more lively green, I would say. Okay, we need to let them dry for a bit. What I wanted on some of them to do a second layer, but with the same color, but to draw some leaves or something on top of it, you know. This is what I actually wanted, but so far this is how they look like. Really nice colors, really awesome. Like this pale yellow, really nice, and this one Italian ochre. There's a big difference between these two, and I can see it in real life. I'm not sure if you're able to see it on the camera, but this is more towards brown, this is more towards red, and you can see that there's two pigments together. I can see the granulation there, so we'll see. I think the upper ones might have dried. Let's see. I'm gonna see how much I can do on top of it and how much two layers of the same one will look like. So I'm just going to be like this. Like I'm gonna draw with the color. Really nice. Let's draw with this one. The advantage of these opaque colors is that you can really do cool stuff when you really do cool stuff when you're doing glazing on top of it. You know, I mean, schminke is awesome, but on schminke you need like 5 layers to get that kind of fix, right? It's like, yeah, really. And this is how you can do swatches, and then this is how you can see what does the full strength of the color look like, right? So yeah. Let's do this pink. Let's see how strong it is. The pink might not be seen properly, but still. It's still a nice effect, I would say. My first instinct is to hoard these ones. Because I don't want to use them, I don't want to lose them. Okay, the yellow is pretty transparent. and you don't really see the second layer. It's okay. Let's try the Tundra. A really nice color, and you can definitely layer it on top of everything that is happening here. Okay. Let's do a tiny one here. Yeah, good. And now the other one, Greenish Umber. That's gonna be nice. It's not like I'm doing very fancy stuff, and also I might not think very well about the composition, but it does not matter. What I want to know is how do they look like when you put them at full strength on top of each other. Look at this, so nice. Oh, this combination, so beautiful. And that was the Castle Earth. Wow. Okay, now let's try this blue Nova Sky. Yep, perfect. And this other blue, which is called Winter Sky. It's very pale, the Winter Sky. You will get really nice effects on it. This hasn't dried properly, but I'm gonna go around it. This is the warm gray. I'm assuming it's very opaque. Really nice. The lavender, let me see. Really nice also, the lavender. The initial color is very strong anyway, but it's still, you can still see it on the second layer. It's still really pretty. And now let's do the other two. The dots. Let's see what we have here. Not very super careful, but still nice. And then the last one. Wow, this green, I really need to have it. It's a really nice green. Okay, so I kind of did my swatching. Let me tell you what I'm observing. Majority of them, because it's like pale pinks and so on, they're pretty opaque, but you can get really nice layers if you add water, so that's okay. When you put the full strength on top of it, majority of them shine through, except a couple, like the yellow. It's pretty pale, but that's why it's called Palo Santo, because it's really pale yellow. It's really nice. And this light blue, it's really light. So this one, I would use this color. It's called Winter Sky. I would use it if I would need to draw something in the background, like really faded. This is what I would use it for, okay? So that's really nice. This green, awesome. The lavender, as any lavender, I mean, I have lavender from Daniel Smith as well. Lavender, very opaque. It's normal, because to make lavender you have to add white, right? So it's normal, but it's a really beautiful color. The warm gray, really awesome as well. This one looks like raw sienna. Not really my cup of tea, but it's okay. It's okay. It's just a dot, right? This is how you learn about the colors. The granulation is super nice. I can see it, and I can even feel it when I'm doing my finger on top of it. So if you do big watercolor pieces like backgrounds and so on, and these colors would help you really with the backgrounds, because you would get for free what we call the texture. You will get it for free, okay? So really nice. And I think now I really want to go and start using them. I might combine them with this one, but let's see with my other set, right? I'm just gonna let them dry, and I'm going to switch over to this part. Let me see if I should take, I indeed wanna tape this one. Man, I don't know how to do it. I don't want the paper to curl, because the paper is not like on a block. The paper is pretty much on but it's okay. With just one, we're gonna do it. Okay, so what do I have here? I have some hellebore, some primrose, some other kind of rose kind of thing, or one layer roses, I would say. This, I forgot how it's called. Actually, it has lots of dots on it, so it's gonna be pink with dots. You're gonna see it when I color it, okay? Don't worry. Then I have some random star shaped ones, and my idea was we're gonna use a really nice color for the middle. Maybe we're gonna go with the Venice and the Mountain Spirit. Then here is gonna be a blue one. This is gonna be the lavender kind of stuff. This is gonna be pink, and this is gonna be the yellow. And we're gonna see what we do with the other ones. Okay, so let's try. Let's see where we get. Okay, this one. So the hellebore, it's a very funny plant, and I think that you can draw it in many different ways. It can have many different layers of color, and it has many different colors. And this is where you will see the fact that you see what I was talking about. The colors are pretty opaque, right? So I had black there, but it's gonna take a while it's gonna cover it, and it's okay. This is just the first layer. I'm not very concerned about it. Okay, we're gonna deepen it afterwards. The first layer is gonna be nice, and maybe a little bit more. And I'm using the Venice for it. Because people might think like, oh, this is just colors for bricks or whatever. And I'm like, no, you can use any colors for flowers as well, man. You don't have to worry about it. Surprisingly, in nature, you have so many different colors that you might not even think very well about, you know? So, yeah. While it's still wet a little bit, I'm just gonna go and drop some more of these darker colors in certain areas just to darken some things up. And I'm gonna let it spread around. Okay. What I think I need to do is probably go back with a black pen afterwards. Okay? Okay. This one I said is going to be the pink. I'm gonna use the El Dorado. Oh, look how opaque it is. Like my black lines just went away. It's okay. I'm going to redo the black lines afterwards. But just so you know, you always have to test your watercolors to see how opaque or not they are, because that will inform you of how much work you need to still do to make something. Once it's dry, I'm gonna do many more layers, so that's gonna be okay. This one, what was I saying? This one, I wanted it to be in the lavender section. Again, very opaque color, still nice. Wow, I can see my cat decided to sleep and to watch outside because it's really stormy and all the trees are moving. So he's like checking out outside. Okay, I can get really nice colors. I can get really pale colors, which is good. It's good. Okay, blue. Let's start with this winter sky and then we're gonna go to Nova sky. What I mean by we're gonna go to Nova sky is we're gonna just deepen the colors, and that's okay. I'm just adding water and trying to push away the color from the black lines. Yep, still pretty. Yep. And then these ones, we're gonna do them with the yellow. You can see always that a watercolor piece consists of many layers and it's never looking nice on the first layer, okay? It's always fun how people think that it just happens. And then you realize the hours it takes to do something like this. And then you start to question, why would anybody want to do this? Because I'm always thinking, oh, it should be easy. Create content every day. Create something every day. Trust me, it's not as easy. Okay. I wonder these ones, what should we do? Ooh. I'm considering them to make them with this other set and to make them pretty dark. First layer is gonna be like this, and then we're gonna do a second layer to darken them, but it's basically with purple. This is a very tiny piece, but it's really nice to make a tiny flower arrangement like this. I mean, why not? I think I'm gonna go more towards the tiny arrangements because it takes me lesser time to do them. That's just the first layer, okay? These ones are still cold to the touch, so when they're still cold to the touch, that means they still haven't dried, okay? So it's okay. I'm just gonna go in with the greens, and I'm just gonna use some of the greens from here as well, just for contrast. This is the olive greenish kind of thingy. It's called Tundra. Okay. I'm trying really hard not to touch the black lines. Let's see. Yeah. And then what should I use? Let's do it with this one. Yeah, the fun part about having a palette that the artist has put together means that the colors go well together, you know? So no matter what happens, I think you are kind of guaranteed that the colors are okay together. You can use them in a composition and you can get really good things out of it, which is good. Like when you buy individual colors, that job is on you. You need to see, okay, does it fit with everything else I have? Does it not fit? So it's a little bit more work for you. But when you have a palette like this that is being made by an artist, that whole thought process has gone into it. So it's really nice. Okay. Of course, more layers will come. Do not worry. we're gonna need some contrast, so that's why I'm gonna use some things from the previous one. We're just gonna utilize the contrast there. By the way, I don't always know if I'm in the view. I always want to be in the center, what I'm doing here. Okay. Let's see. Did it in here. Okay. Okay. And now we're gonna use this color, which is the Greenish Umber, to actually darken this one's. I'm not gonna use the color. Oh, oops. I made a small bit of a mistake here. Don't worry. Sometimes my hand just slips and it's okay. You don't necessarily have to use one color for everything, right? You can use it in combination to create shadows and everything. So now I'm using the other color just to create a gradation of color, like an umber effect. Okay. The same here. Yeah. And then where would it be a nice one to have? Because I have a lot of here. I have some here, and I think I need one leaf here. Maybe this one. I'm trying to be in a way symmetrical with my colors, but not too symmetrical, if you know what I mean. So yeah, this is really nice. By the way, I have a new setup because I wanted to revamp a little bit my area, and I just needed I usually have lots of lights to the left and to the right and in the back and in front, so that it just creates lots of light in the room, because I film at night, so not much natural light that I could get. But this time I made a new setup just because I just didn't want all those lights everywhere. I need to be feeling at ease when I'm creating, and I need to have a peace of mind. So when my desk is messy and it's full of things, right, then I'm not gonna say happy, but definitely not happy, right? So that is why I redid my setup, and I'm going to have a video detailing how I did it, what I did, what I bought. It's not yet fully done. I still have some things to iron out. One thing will be the light in the back, but that's just gonna be probably some LED lights that I want to have. So that's gonna be fine. Okay, that's really nice. And now I think these ones dried out. Yeah, they did. So we're gonna do some second layers of things. You might wonder, I'm just doing a second layer of yellow to make this one more pop out. And in the back, I'm gonna mix this one with the orange to make it a slightly different. So it's gonna be orangey looking. Okay. Because this one is in the back. Cool. Now this one. What we're gonna do? Gonna do second layers of the reds. And now look how beautiful this looks like. Right? The first layer looks a little bit weird, but the second layer of red, wow. This really looks like a red. Okay. I'm gonna do petals that are not next to each other because I don't want the colors to run into each other. But yeah. Really nice muted red. Of course, we're gonna be able to darken them properly. And I'm really pulling the color down because I want the tip of the petals to be not so bright. Okay, this is the reason why. Okay, this one we're gonna go in with this other one, Mountain Spirit, in the back. We're gonna make it even darker. Why not? Okay. These are not as bright as Quinacridone Rose. It looks more like a Perlin Maroon kind of situation, which is fine. And of course, this is also just a sketchbook, man. This is not gonna be, because it's not 100% cotton, it's not gonna give you the same result as when you're doing stuff with artist watercolor paper or something like that. Okay, so don't get too frustrated with it. You're not gonna get the full range and the full benefits of a real 300 GSM watercolor paper, but it's pretty close. I would say that out of all the watercolor notebooks, I like this one the most. And I have quite some watercolor notebooks. I should have done this color here. Okay. Notice that I let that little flap with the original color that I did. And that's okay. This already looks a million times better. Just with 2 layers. somebody was saying that if you have a watercolor notebook like this, and if you manage to draw and make at least 30 pages, that's when you're gonna find your style, which I always found that it's a bit suspicious. But I have to agree that after about 30 pieces, you kind of get the hang of it and you kind of know what you want. So this flower, the black lines, I'm just going to have to redo them, because the lavender, as with any lavender, it's very opaque. Nothing we can do about it. It's a really wonderful color, but we just need to take it one step at a time. Okay. Yep. And I'm gonna let them dry because it's a tiny flower, and then we're gonna go for now. Now let's do this other one. I'm gonna try a second layer first, and then we're gonna go with the darkest color. Yeah. Even this blue is pretty opaque. That's because in order to get this type of blue, the only solution is to add white or black. Yep. And now I'm gonna play around with the darkest color that I have here. And I'm just gonna dab it in some places. And let the water do the work. Okay. And I think that one could benefit from mixing it with a different color. Sometimes I'm thinking one color is enough. Sometimes I'm thinking mixing it will give it a bit of an interest. And I'm mixing it with the mauve, and these colors really do work very well together. You can clearly see that they're made by the same artist. Right? Really nice. And actually the funny part is you can tie it down with this other one and have the same, because the lavender also works well together, not only the blue. So, you know, you can have these flowers like this. Yeah. Beautiful. Really beautiful. I'm doing some more layering on that flower. And now this one's, what was it with? I'm just doing the berries that are beneath it, and I'm just adding some shading. The berries beneath it are darker, right, and the berries in front lighter. Then we need some shading. As in the second layer of things. Yeah. Perfect. And now let me consider what I should do. I really need some more green. Let's take this green. This is called probably Iceland green. It's really darker green. It's more of a gray green. Super granulating. And I'm just gonna go around and do some of the leaves with it. And then we're gonna use some different greens. I would love to use this one. This is a gothic green, and we're gonna use it. It's more of a bluish green. Provides a really nice contrast to everything that we do. And now I'm going to use it on this one here, just to create that weird. And I'm gonna use it on this one. And as well on this one. Okay. Now that we had this one, I'm thinking, what other type of color would I need? I need a really contrasting color. So I could go for this blue. It's called Gothic Blue. You might wonder why. Just because we need to get out of the monotony of always having leaves that are green. I think we should just be brave and do leaves that are blue or red or different colors. You know? Okay. And I'm gonna add this blue to the berries. The reason for it is that it really needs to have a slight contrast here. And I don't think just the purple will work. Yeah, that looks much better. That looks so much better. for this one. Let's use that gothic green again. Yep. And now, would I do a third layer even? Yeah, I need to. This red needs extra. It's not dry yet. I'm doing it very carefully. I don't want the colors to run when I don't want them. You would say I'm a control freak. I would agree with you. I would very much agree with you. Yep. In theory, this is more brownish than red, but you know, when it's gonna dry, it's gonna look really nice, and then gonna go on top of it, and we're gonna darken the colors. Yep. By the way, on this weather, don't go out. Trust me, you don't want to go out. I was trying to bike, and that was the hardest thing I've done in a very long time. But it's also very dangerous because the trees are dangerously going down. So try not to stress yourself too much, but remember, once it's dry, I'm going to redo the lines, okay? Okay. Now I'm thinking darker blue in some areas. Yeah. That's definitely needed there. Darker blue in these areas also. This is how you build up any piece. You just go and make yourself extra layers. You can mix colors to get new results, right? For example, I'm going to really make the one in the back more yellowish ochre. because it's in the back, and I want us to have a nicer color. Okay, and then what else? This one I need to okay, now I'm just going to have to wait for it and add the details with the black pen. Let me see. Do I have something to zap it? I have put my new, by the way, I have put my zapper, my heat tool here in front of me, so I can pull it if I need it. But, and this is the big but, is that I need a remote control to see if I can turn on the light. Okay. Remote. Why? Because if I'm always going to have the zapper in the power, I am too scared to leave it. And you might wonder why. And that is because it can be very dangerous, right? The whole house could catch on fire. So I need a way of closing the light. So I bought a very fancy power cord that has a remote, so I can turn on and off without me having to go underneath the table and do all this stuff. So now I'm all set. Okay, that's good. Yep. Redoing the center a little bit and blackening some of this one again. Yeah, and then here. You don't want to do the black lines while it's still wet, because then you're gonna ruin your pen. And you're gonna ruin not only your pen. Oh, what did I do here? I did a little bit of a boo-boo. I put my fingers into where it shouldn't be. Okay. It wasn't fully dry, man. Okay, no problem. No problem. So this flower, that I don't know if you know, this one has spots on it. Like this. It's color spotted something. Now, don't ask me what the name is, because I don't remember. It just has spots and it's pink. I might not have drawn it correctly, but you know, you understand the gist of it. Okay, cool. And for these ones up here, we're just gonna do some of these pastels. After the fact, because I knew the colors are very opaque. Makes no sense to draw them before, because they're gonna be lost, you know. That's it. Some of this stuff maybe needs a little bit of reinforcement, not everything. All in all, I am very pleased with it. I'm thinking I'll do some lines here, maybe here. I'm also trying with this occasion to see how black pen works on top of these watercolors. What happens is some watercolors are very granulating, so then anything that you add on top with a black pen or otherwise, it's going to be very difficult, which is true for this one, because it catches into the pigments. Okay, but it still looks wonderful. I'm gonna add some lines on these ones just to make them a little bit more interesting. Yeah. And now I think it looks okay. It actually looks pretty funny. Okay. That was it for tonight. Wow, thank you so much. Marlena, oh, I see. It's awesome and the colors are gorgeous. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I do agree. The colors are awesome. They're muted colors, exactly what I like. I would say that if I had my other set with me, I would have added some more brighter red, like some quinacridone rose to this red. This red is very pale, right? But then you don't really get the contrast. But on this one, I really got the contrast right. This one looks okay. And the greens are very nice as well. So all in all, I'm really happy with what we did tonight. This one has dried on their own. Looks pretty cool. And it's a good representation of what the colors are. So I would say, all in all, pretty nice, huh? Nice design and nice colors. Thanks, until next time. Oh, okay, yes, thanks, until next time. I'm going to stop the stream now. Stay safe, people. If you are in the middle of the storm and everything, just stay safe. Let's get together again next time we do a live stream, and let's do something fun, yeah? Okay, thank you.